1000万 MLB 翻訳侍戦士チャンネルへようこそ。注目のワールドシリーズが開幕しましたね。大谷翔平選手をはじめとする日本人選手たちの活躍が期待されています。今回は現地の解説者たちのワールドシリーズに関する分析と試合展開の重要なポイントをお届けいたします。この動画が面白いと思っていただけましたらコメント欄に感想をお聞かせください。このチャンネルではメジャーリーグの現地放送局の様子を翻訳してお届けしていきますので、お見逃しのないよう今のうちにチャンネル登録をお願いいたします。
This is an easy one. Again, as I said in the open, a mannequin can figure this one out, and Freeman hits a huge home run. The big picture first. Now the Yankees have to beat the Dodgers 5 times, and I don't think they're beating them 5 times. So to me, as an observer who doesn't like either franchise, so I don't care who wins, to me as a neutral observer, I think the Yankees are finished as far as the World Series is concerned. I told you yesterday, and I've said it for a week, that the Yankees had to win the 2 games that Garrett Cole pitched. Not that he had to get the win, but they had to win the games. Obviously, they didn't win this first game. That is number 1. Number 2, the Yankees are not quite as good as the Dodgers anyway. The Dodgers were a slight favorite, home field advantage, a little deeper lineup. So as a result, to beat LA, they had to be, basically win the games they were supposed to win. And if a lead is in the 8th and the 10th inning, that is a game you cannot lose. So, and from that standpoint, go look at the history of baseball. Look at the A's in '88 is a good example. Now, Arizona, they lost 2 games in the 9th to the Yankees in 0-1. But normally in World Series play, when you blow a lead in the 9th or 10th innings, in this case in the 10th, and then you very rarely come back and win a series. Blown saves in this sort of spot is just, it's almost too difficult to come. These are not the Guardians. That's number 1. Number 2, when the Yankees blew that lead to Cleveland, they were up 2-0 in that series, and they were still up 2 games to 1. Here, they are on equal footing with this powerhouse, and it's the first game. So they got to win probably 2 games in LA. What games are they going to win? Plus, I do not like the starting pitcher tonight in this big spot. Now, Yamamoto's not Earl Hershiser, has 82. He sort of, it was the double whammy against the A's because he pitched that second game after the Gibby home run. Yamamoto's not on that level. But from that standpoint, the Yankees, they're not pitching Ron Guidry either. And I don't trust him in a big game on the road when they're down a game. So to me, I think in a lot of ways, I would be really surprised if the Yankees came back and win this series. I think it's over. I think LA, it might take 6 games, but I think LA is in excellent shape now to win a title. All right, now, as far as the moves are concerned, listen, there's a couple on the Dodger point I didn't like either, which I'll do in a second. The Yankees, you can't have Tim Hill warmed up in the bullpen. This is the obvious one. And then you go to Nelson Cortez, who hasn't pitched since early September. I don't care about some simulated game. Hill was unhittable against Cleveland. He got 1 million outs. He's good against lefties. How in the world is he not in the game? Everybody in Yankeeville is shocked this morning. I spoke to 1 million Yankee fans and said, how in the world is he's got him warmed up in a bullpen? Cortez hasn't done anything for about a month and a half, and somehow you don't let Hill pitch the 10th inning, 1st and 2nd with 1 out? Come on. That's overthinking it, number 1, and that's just an awful managerial move that if the Yankees don't pull off a shock and come back and win this series, Yankee fans are going to remember this for the next 50 years. That's all there is to it. And that is not the only one. I don't understand, in fact, why Torres was out of this game. Now, listen, his defense was a disgrace in the 8th inning. A lazy defensive play that cost his team a bag. We all know that. But still, I don't take him out of the game for a pinch runner in the top of the 9th, and then I got to sit there and have Cabrera play second base. I'm not doing that. I know that Torres isn't Joe Morgan, but I am not doing that under any circumstances. This play by Torres is so bad, it is mind-boggling how he makes that kind of play. But why in the world, he's the best sacrifice fly, why in the world is he out of the game defensively? I don't quite understand that. I don't know. They did that with Birdie, and he almost blew the play against the Guardians in Game 4 and Game 5 in that series. That is number 2. Number 3, we've said this all year long. Let's say it again. Soto might be the worst defensive right fielder in a big game I've ever seen. What a ridiculously poor angle he took down the right field line, which set up the Dodgers with their first run. They got an extra 90 feet twice, and both times sacrificed flies. Soto defensively is a horror show in the outfield. I think everybody knows that. Why didn't Rizzo run on that ground ball in the 10th inning? He stopped. Why? There was no double play in play there. That was a hard hit ball. That was a hard double play ball he can run, and he stops between first and second. I mean, I don't like to get on Rizzo. He's a heck of a player. He's won a championship. He made a great play in right field when Soto gave up on it on that pop-up down the right field line, but he's got to keep on running there from that standpoint. I don't understand why Weaver comes in the game in the bottom of the 8th inning. When they got the man on third with 1 out, don't use Weaver there. You got to almost give him the sacrifice fly so you have Weaver for the next 2 innings. Kaylee, if Betts gets a hit, then you bring Weaver in. If Betts hits a sacrifice fly, you get out of the inning at 2-2, and you still got Weaver for the 9th and the 10th. I don't understand that. You're not striking out Betts in that situation. And then finally, Weaver only threw 18, 19 pitches. I mean, you got to try him in the bottom of the 10th. Don't worry about tomorrow. Try him in the bottom of the 10th against the bad part of that lineup. If it is bad, 7, 8, and 9. I did not understand that from any stretch of the imagination. Let's put it this way. Miller Huggins didn't like what he saw last night out of Aaron Boone. That was not a big-time display of managing in a crucible here. And then finally, Judge. All right, listen, I know he got a little ground, I hit a little single, I understand that. But his inability to, now I know he hit the home run against Class A, but everybody scored against Class A. The Tigers scored, Stanton scored, the 10th inning, 9th inning they scored. Everybody hit him. I mean, Judge has got to come up with a big hit in this big spot. You're making $50 million a year, you're hitting all these home runs, and this is not the first postseason. I mean, he's been bad in most postseasons he's played. He doesn't put the bat on the ball. I mean, they're walking Soto and they pops up. Oh, my goodness. So all those issues for the Yankees make me wonder. 2 things the Dodgers did that I did not understand. I don't know if that was Dave Roberts, but you don't bunt Kike Hernandez in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's first and second. Ask a Yankee fan with a 1-1 lead if they wanted an out there. They would have taken an out under any circumstances, and they would have given up the second and third situation. And whether he bunted on his own, whatever it was, that was a very poor play. I did not understand that. And I tell you, I know they love Michael Kopech. Enough of him. If you're a Dodger fan, he gave up a run to the Mets last weekend. He's wild, and I was shocked in a tie game. I guess bottom of the order. He figured he can get away with it. He had to use Trinan in the inning anyway. But I was floored that he brought him in the top of the 9th. He's lucky that Torres' ball was not a home run. Another couple of inches. I was really surprised by that. That made absolutely no sense. They love Kopech because he throws the ball 100 miles an hour. Problem is, they all hit fastballs, and number 2, he doesn't get the ball over the plate. Falls behind and everything else. I did not understand those 2 moves from a Dodger perspective. But I'm not an idiot. The one thing I do understand is those 3 Hall of Famers at the top of the order did what they're supposed to do. Ohtani, smart, takes the extra base, big double, give him all the credit in the world. Betts almost had a big hit earlier in the game because, and Grissom, who had a great game, not Grissom, Chisholm, who had a great game, the stolen bases and the 2 hits, nice defensive play, stopped the run, then Betts hits the sacrifice fly, and no problem, by the way, with walking Betts in the 10th inning. You had to do that, lefty. And then, of course, we know what Freeman did with the grand slam, and then he had the triple earlier in the game. So, listen, I had Joey Votto on radio yesterday. He thought if the Yankees lost last night, they would lose in 6. If they won, they would lose in 7. And I kind of happen to agree with him. I think now the Dodgers are going to win it all. Maybe that game in San Diego when they had to go the bullpen game, whatever that might be, they got a lot of juice right now, that ballpark. And I'm telling you, it's hard enough beating them 4 times. Now the Yankees have to beat them 5 times.
まさに劇的な展開となったヤンキースとドジャースの試合。大谷翔平選手のスマートな走塁から、ベッツ選手の犠牲フライ、そしてフリーマン選手の決勝グランドスラム、ドジャースの上位打線が見事にその進化を発揮しましたね。ヤンキースにとっては厳しい状況となりましたが、この先どのような展開になるのでしょうか。皆様のご意見やご感想をコメント欄までお寄せください。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。ご視聴ありがとうございました。